remember about the very first gig or the very beginning of the band?
Well, we rolled the bus over.
No, that's at the very end of the band.
Oh. We were at Conan O'Brien.
Would gather in East Lansing before our first gig, actually in the summer of '84. We would go down about 1 o'clock in the morning with our acoustic guitars and shakers and accordion, and we would sing our songs, and people would gather around after they come out of the bars, and huge crowds would gather around. And then one time somebody set off the alarm, maybe we did, I don't know, of one of the buildings, and the cops showed up, you know, coming down all the streets and dispersed the crowd. It was mayhem.
Keep your mind inside the jars.
At the very beginning.
Both our dogs got drunk.
Okay, well, so you want some Bop Harvey memories. Well, in one of our more brilliant scheduling moves, we decided we would go all the way from Key West, hot Key West, up to Hyannisport, Massachusetts, jump on the ferry, sail to Nantucket Island, and play the chicken box all on that same evening that we got there. So Key West, up the coast, Hyannisport, sail, get to the chicken box and seaweed, God rest his soul, unload, set up, sound check, and play the show. I do remember we killed the show, had a great time, and promptly fell over like we were dead.
Little known fact, the very, very, very first Bop Harvey guitarist was named Jeff Stunn. And me and Dan used to rehearse in his trailer home in a trailer park. And I'd keep my drums in this little fucking closet, and it was complete mayhem. And he would write 50 songs a day. He told us he'd write 50. We get there, Jeff, did you write 50 songs? Oh yeah, I got 50 songs today. Jeff Stunn.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so now try a new one. Ready?
It's all a fog, Dad.
Famous reggae party where Bop Harvey played its first gig, which I wasn't a part of that gig. I remember being told about it. I was playing a show with Scott Colling and the Pirates of Penzance over at Lansing Community College, and he told me they were having this party. I ended up not making it over there, but he also asked me if I knew any sax players, because he said they were looking for a sax player. And about a week later, Scott said, Miles, we can't find a sax player. Maybe we should try 2 trumpets. You want to come and sit in with the band and see how it goes? And I said, sure. And I knew the other trumpet player, Joel, and Joel and I were friends. And so I thought it'd be fun.
So I remember the first time, I think it was auditioning for Bop Harvey, and I was down in the basement there. I think it was Dan's house. And I see Randy for the first time, and he looks like the straightest, most butch guy, and I was actually scared of him for about a week. And then they're like, oh, we're going to have a gig. And I'm like, I've only been here a week, and it was out in the backyard, and I was like, okay, we're set up. And I think I forgot every song and just kind of stood there and hoped they wouldn't fire me the next day.
Okay, another fine memory of Nantucket Island. I believe it was the second time that we were there. Randy Sly and I were eating clams in a great little joint, and in the middle of a great meal, Randy got a bad clam and promptly looked down and spread his knees apart and puked all over the floor and the bar stool, and I found that pretty funny. That's a great memory. Haven't thought of it in a while. So.
My first gig with Bop Harvey was very memorable, though. We played a benefit for the Detroit Institute of Arts. It was an outdoor gig at somewhere right around the Renaissance Center. And it was an acoustic gig. And before we started playing, a guy came up to us and said he wanted to sit in with the band. He seemed like he knew what he was talking about. However, people can seem like they know what they're talking about. And it turns out he played the Spoons. And so he played every single song with us on the spoons on that gig. And after the gig, I remember people saying, "Man, I love your spoons player." And I was hoping that we'd continue to have the spoons player with us because it seemed like he was a big part of the band. I was very disappointed when I realized the spoons player was never going to play with us again. But he was known as Spoon Man. In fact, you can find videos on YouTube of Spoon Man, I believe. And he was amazing, and that was a great first gig for me, and memorable because of Spoon Man.
I have false memories that are based upon the images I've seen online on our website. I thought one of you must have been a homosexual, just by the way you dressed, because I didn't know you guys very well. So that's kind of fruity.
Okay, so so Scott and I meet in the winter of '83, and it takes forever to find a wordsmith, and we finally do. We get everybody together, and we're playing that summer of '84, and we're going to host a big reggae party, a big reggae summer jam in the backyard of our duplex on Alton and Bircham in the student ghetto in East Lansing, and so we are going to offer all the beer you can drink and all the roast corn you can eat for $3. Those are the times. And Scott and I drove out to the stick somewhere in a farm nearby, and we bought bushels and bushels and bushels of corn, and we rented a commercial cooker, a big giant thing. It had to be like 10 feet by 8 feet or something. It was monstrous. Filled it full of coal, and we roasted corn all day, and different people came up and took over while we were playing, and the performance was actually probably the low part of the party. It was very, very unremarkable. But I remember, I believe we went through 24 kegs, and I thought that was very respectable.
Our dogs really did get inebriated. Mine and Ron Hatch's dogs drank off the top of the kegs till they were both passed out, laying down, and out of it. And it was a nice summer night. And other than that, I can't repeat some of the things that you don't want me to say.